Hello everyone and welcome to Greyhammer. Today we're going to be going on how to improve Feliforms. I think we need to answer first what are Feliforms because sort of similar to last week, it may be a little bit less understood. So this is going to include things like civets, mongoose, and hyenas. Uh, don't worry about why there's a condor flying on the screen. We'll get to that in a little bit, just a sneak peek of what's to come. Kind of how we're going to improve these animals in Planet Zoo. So, let's get into it right now. First of all, and this is the one that's been true for every single animal group, is the size requirements for their enclosure. So the Binturong requires 200 square meters in Planet Zoo for a pair. For a pair in AZA zoos is recommended to have an enclosure of at least 42 meters squared. So that's about a quarter of the size. So that's kind of crazy. Fossa, much the same, 330 square meters for a pair. And then it's 50 square meters in AZA zoos, so about a sixth of the size. Meerkats, even more severe, 22 meters squared for a pair, and an additional 5 square meters per additional individual. Whereas in the game it requires 194 square meters. So that's an even bigger, almost 10 times difference. And then the hyena, I wasn't able to find anything on. But I would say it's probably comparable to the maned wolf for the striped hyena or the gray wolf for the spotted hyena. Alright, so moving on to our next point, and that's the size requirement's really important. Because that allows you to build more interesting habitats, build more habitats for more animals, so can be really useful. Better enrichment. This is where you kind of get that flying animal. I'd like to allow the fossa to use the hammock. I think that it would look good in there. That's kind of my personal crusade right now. I'd also like to see things like animal shows that the education people can use for ambassador animals such as the fossa, binturong, and meerkat, other animals like that. They often do shows to bring awareness to conservation issues or animal intelligence, things like that. Can be a really cool part of a zoo. So would love to see that. Those kinds of talks would be really interesting. Kind of a different animal talk for smaller animals, maybe. Better animations. You're gonna again want better climbing animations synced up. I'd also like to see more interactions with hyenas. This goes with a lot of the other herd and pack animals, but just kind of them moving in a group more often, things like that. These are very social animals, and having them interact like such would be very helpful to make the game a little bit more immersive. But there's not much here, honestly, but I think it's an important part of improving these Feliforms. Better models. This is a major point. I know a lot of people don't like the spotted hyena model, so it should get a remodel at some point. Striped hyena, I think there's some people who would say that it needs a remodel, but I think better fur physics, where it could have animations, where it raises its mane better, could be more interesting. They've done a lot of work on fur physics. I'd like to see them improve on things like the orangutan, the markhor, striped hyena. I bet they could do it, and if not, they could do it in Planet Zoo 2. So it could be improvement there. Minor tweaks to the fossa as well. I know some people have said it's not as accurate for the model. I think it's fine the way it is, but a few tweaks could be useful. And then better traversable area. This is going to be really important for these kind of active small animals because it would allow for more dynamic overhead catwalks, so where you would have those like outdoor enclosures with a tunnel leading inward. Then if you make those tunnels able to be smaller so that the animal doesn't have to turn around in the tunnels, you could maybe, I don't know how you could code it, but something like once it starts into an animation going down the tunnel, it never turns around, because currently it requires an animal to have enough space to turn around. So just have a way that if there's an area where they can't turn around, that it will just consider it a one-way or a bi-direction, but you can't turn directions during that area. I don't know. Also allowing hyenas to better move along rock formations, because a lot of striped hyena enclosures especially have a lot of rock walls and crevices and things like that that would be more interesting to have them move along. And then more caniforms. This is always one of the or more feliforms. Sorry, didn't update that slide there as much. So again, I said that the species were categorized by civets, mongoose, and hyenids. And so I would say the genet, banded palm civet, and the African civet all make sense for those civet species. Those are kind of the most popular ones. There's an argument for a few others, I believe, but these are the three main ones that I think should get added. For mongoose, this is also going to include the Malagasy mongooses, which are a little bit less related to mongoose. The Egyptian mongoose, banded mongoose, dwarf mongoose, and ring-tailed mongoose are all species pretty commonly held in zoos. I know my local zoo had dwarf mongoose for a while, so they would definitely be something that should get added into the game, I think. And then for hyena species, we're going to go with the brown hyena and aardwolf, the only remaining hyena species left in the wild. These would make great for nocturnal houses, especially the aardwolf, and then the ring-tailed mongoose would be great for more Madagascar species. And then just these species would be very interesting climbing animations, burrowing animations. A lot of these animals are really cool, can really help fill out those smaller enclosures. But that's going to be it for this episode. It's a much shorter one. I'm sorry if you can hear my chameleon's mister in the background. But if you did like this kind of content, go ahead and hit the like and subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to comment down below what additional species you might want into the game. And yeah, that's going to be it for this episode, and I'll see you later. Bye.